In fact, Sufism is it's not a sect, it's a way of understanding Islam. And you have Sufism in Sunni Islam, and you have Sufism in Shiite Islam. Now, Sufism starts out really as, you can think of it as the extra credit component of Islam. So let's say someone who's a Sufi, in addition to doing their 5 daily prayers, in addition to acting properly as a Muslim and not doing the things that are prohibited and doing the things that they're required to do, they seek to act as if God is, as if they can actually see God watching them all the time. Imagine someone who's acting all the time as if, let's say, the headmaster of their school were observing them. So they're always trying to make sure that their conduct is perfect and their behavior is perfect. So Sufism tries to take Islamic practice to the next level, to the supererogatory level. And what happens is this extra credit dimension of Islam, especially in the 1100s and 1200s of the Common Era, becomes an incredibly important part of Islam, and in fact becomes one of the most widespread and omnipresent aspects of Muslim life in Islamic civilization. So if you're, let's say, a villager in the Balkans, or a merchant in Senegal, or a boat captain in what's now Malaysia, for example, one of the ways that from the 1200s until today, one of the main ways that a Muslim will interact with his or her religion is through the practice of Sufism. And things like collective ritual chanting, so you get together, let's say once a week in a Sufi lodge and you chant together the names of God, or a poem praising the Prophet Muhammad. This type of thing becomes a really prominent social activity and institution throughout the Islamic world. Although Sufism is very, very popular and important for Muslims and remains so today, it's also very controversial, because many of the practices that Sufis engage in, and for example, many people have heard of the whirling dervishes. The whirling dervishes is actually the ritual activity of the Mevlevi Sufi order, and they spin around in an attempt to remember, to focus on God, the act of creation, spinning around God, which is who is the source and the center of their world. This is actually a ritual activity, but many, let's say, some Muslim scholars reject this because it wasn't practiced by the early Muslims. It wasn't practiced by the Prophet Muhammad. And so they see it as kind of a heretical innovation where foreign ideas are being brought into the religious tradition. So although Sufism is extremely important, it's also controversial.